mingled with children of government schools as well as those in private schools. What kind of a stress each one of these groups go through? Private school children?
The
both must be
government
going through
school
stress.
children is because apathy of have not. The schools are so well equipped, and I think the teachers are very punitive in government schools. I've run a program on socio-emotional learning in government schools, and when I used to go, the teachers would bring a stick and say, if you allow them to make this noise and all, they're not going to do. I said, I don't want the stick. And I think beating and punitive doesn't achieve anything. At this point, I want to tell parents, fear inhibits working memory. How many of us have well prepared for the exam, and when we see the examination paper, out of fear, forget and feel blank? Fear and punitive, when you hit, how will these children learn anything? And for them, education is all about hitting, beating, and how are they going to enjoy unless we're going to change this? And the poor quality of materials. For children to learn, you got to have them hype created about that the world is very exciting and come into it and learn. That's not happening.
That is in government schools.
Government.
What
Now,
about children in private
yeah,
schools?
the private
They
school.
must be having another kind of stress.
Yeah, the private school children are today are really getting into, some of the high-end schools which I deal with and I have problem of too much, and they have no value for education. It's so unfortunate. If I get everything I want in life, why do I have to study? And they're all into, at a very young age, getting into too much of brand equities. And today I've got coming in BMW, so why are you not coming into a Fiat car or whatever? That's setting in, which is creating a kind of the stress on the parents. Parents come and tell me this is what my child wants. I said, my God. And I think all these are one factor. And then I think too much of access of money they're getting into drugs, alcohol. All these are happening at a very young age. So the other end of the spectrum also of no limitations of financial limitations, and I think they don't have so much of access to parental affections, or they're very busy people who feel, I can provide this and my child.
So there are two extremes.
They're too extreme. Materialism also is not going to bring great happiness in life.
Dr. Nandini, lack of well-trained teachers is the bane of most schools in India.
100%.
Most teachers are ill-equipped to handle socio-emotional issues among children. Do you get to counsel such teachers?
Yes, I've done workshops for them, and we continue to do it. Workshop will be done to how to have a socio-emotional learning programs. Ideally, there are some organizations which are running it, but it should be a day-to-day practice which a teacher has it in every period for a child. There are some external agencies, like even we go in and do a SEL program in school, but SEL program should be adapted.
What is SEL?
SEL is social-emotional learning.
Okay.
Sorry. Social-emotional learning program should be adapted on a day-to-day basis by every class, every teacher. It should become, and I think it will be worthwhile to train teachers, and we'll be very glad to do it also if anybody does support this program, and to tell them how do we handle children. It's really lacking, and I even see the B.Ed courses and whatever we are doing is not focusing on this. And academics is, do you know only academics leads to 40% of success in life? 60% is how do we face it? Yes. I get a job, but I may be able to stay in the job, should be able to perform, that comes not from academic knowledge, comes from emotional maturity.
Well, nicely put. I think it's interesting. I hope all parents and students should be listening to that.
I hope so. I really think it's very, very important. Very important.
Dr. Nandini, you also conduct regular workshops for parents and teachers.
Yes.
What are the key areas that you touch upon at this workshop where parents are there, teachers are there?
The key areas are how does a child learn, what goes into learning, what is the home requirement for the child. See, for example, most parents think as soon as the child comes, gives them some food, send them to tuition.
Yes,
and
that's
another
big major menace in
India.
India.
In India, right from first standard. I said, what tuition? And secondly, I tell them never. For example, as soon as the child comes from school, well, you give something to eat is a good idea. He should play. After playing, make him do homework. Not homework and then play. Because the brain is exhausted. And what is, it's like flogging a dead horse. And the children, and then they say children are not doing it. And parents don't understand. We do workshops on all these issues with parents. How does a child learn? What is the concentration? You have a 6-year-old child sitting for 45 minutes at homework or 1 hour. The attention span for a 6-year-old is not more than 20 minutes. I feel the classroom should not be more than 20 minutes to half an hour because, but where is
Attention
it?
span. Again.
Yes, because that's what is leading to stress. The child can't sit, so naturally it will be fidgety, it will look here, there, and then you blame the child as not being attentive.
Very interesting,
And
Dr.
school-
Nandini. I think every one of us is so much learning here.
Yeah, school also, I'd say the same thing to school, that please don't give negative remarks. Don't say, bad child, you can't do it. If you bring down the self-confidence in 6 years itself, or even earlier, what is this child going to do later on in life?
Absolutely.